And we know that afterwards there was another few Fabrengens where the Rebbe spoke strongly about these inyanim. We know that a few months later the court case actually started, and the court case actually started on Teves Kislev itself, on Teves Kislev of Tashon Mem Vav, and as soon as we heard that that's the day that the court is starting, Teves Kislev, how could there even be a suffix in anyone's mind that of course there's going to be a major Didan Notzach, Yalach Sidim Alo Yoino, if you're already starting on a day like Teves Kislev? But we also know that the Rebbe, who took this whole story extremely, extremely serious, so we all know that the Rebbe was going to the oil then every single day that the court was in session, which was over the next few weeks, which basically meant that the Rebbe was going to the oil 4, 5, sometimes 6 days a week the Rebbe was going to the oil. And of course everyone also knows that going to the oil, without again understanding the ruchni is the inyanim of what it means, the Rebbe davening by the oil all day, obviously it's something so serious, which the Rebbe is standing and davening all day long. You know, we go to the oil today, some of us might go for 10 minutes, a half hour, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, but the Rebbe went to the oil, the Rebbe went up for a whole day. The Rebbe went in the morning and came back, it was dark. And we all know that the Rebbe fasted when he went to the oil, besides drink or something, whatever it is, because you don't actually fast when you go to the oil. So it's the freezing cold winter. The Rebbe is not eating all day and davening by the oil all day. So that itself, you know, to us as Bachrim, showed us that obviously there's something extremely, extremely, extremely serious going on over here. We're saying Tehillim every single morning and every single day. And of course, after that, waiting with great anticipation for the time of finally that there should be the Didan Notzach, which unfortunately dragged out for over a year. Because if the court case started on Teves Kislev, Tafshin Mem Vav, and the Didan Notzach was only the following year, Teves, Tafshin Mem Zayin, the end of 1986. So it was a long, Uizgeschleppte Meise, during which everyone saw that this was taking a very big toll on the Rebbe, however much we understand about these inyonim. But definitely it was causing a lot of tsar and a lot of atmas. And therefore we can also understand what kind of tremendous simcha it was when finally there was the Didan Notzach on Teves of the following year of Tafshin Mem Zayin, with all of the tremendous simcha that came along with it. Now, b'derech klal, in regards to things that we celebrate, in regards to Yom Tovim that we celebrate, there are different kinds of Yom Tovim. There's obviously, let's just go for a moment to a Yom Tov like Rosh Chodesh Kislev that we had not long ago. We all understand that, begashmius at least, the Rebbe wasn't well begashmius, and the Rebbe became well, which obviously caused tremendous simcha by Chassidim. When it comes to a Yom Tov like Teves, you know, in Chassidus, there's an expression that one needs to be very, very careful when learning Kabbalah. Baal Shem Tov spoke about it. There's something called Lahafshit Hadvorim Migashmi Yusuf. Because we speak about so many terms in Kabbalah that could Chas v'Shalom be translated in a Gashmiistic way, one needs to be extremely careful not to take it too Gashmiistic. When it comes to a Yom Tov like Teves, I believe, it's extremely important that we view the Yom Tov and we celebrate it and we understand what it's all about. We need to take it out, lahafshit hadvorim megashmi yusuf. We need to move away a little bit from being very megushimdik, very physical and materialistic about it, and to understand that there was a total ruchni-isdik thing going on over here. It wasn't about a gashmi-isdik thing. Just before walking into this Fabrengen, literally after the time of the Fabrengen started already, I wasn't in this room, somebody asked me a very, very innocent and good question. He says, what's the big deal of a Hey Teves? I mean, there are so many different court cases, even here in Melbourne, over matters of Yerusha, over matters of an inheritance. So very nice. Okay, it's very nice. There was a court case, and the Rebbe won the court case. But okay, it's a Yom Tov, fine, but it's such a big Yom Tov. I said before that this, I think, is the only Yom Tov that the Rebbe was koivei as a Yom Tov. I'm pretty sure about that. It's the only day that the Rebbe himself, mamash, established as a Yom Tov. Okay, it's a Yom Tov. We're happy for the Rebbe. There's a court case. We're happy for the Rebbe. But is it such a big Yom Tov? And that's why I said I think it's so important that the only way to appreciate a Yom Tov like Hey Teves is only if we understand that there's a total ruchni yizdika thing going on over here. It's all about a ruchni yizdika nitzochin. The physical way how it manifests itself is very secondary in this particular case. And what I mean by that is, again, even if it was just a physical nitzochin, we would also be very happy for the Rebbe. And we know that any physical thing by a Rebbe is anyways a very ruchni yizdika thing. But in this case, particularly so. Because the Rebbe himself, in the Fabrengen, that original Fabrengen of Yud-based Tammuz Tovshin Mem Hey, and in subsequent Fabrengens, and in subsequent years, the way the Rebbe explained the whole problem that was going on, explained the whole issue that was going on, was it a total ruchni yizdika thing. It wasn't about a case of a Yerusha at all. It was not at all about who does it belong to. Does it belong to person A or does it belong to person B? The question rather was, to start in the simplest way, is there even a discussion about a Yerusha? Could we even be discussing the word Yerusha in this whole thing? Rather, as the Rebbe put it in a number of times in a number of places, it was more about a discussion about what a Rebbe is all about the nitzchis, about the eternity of what a Rebbe is all about. It was about the connection of Rebbe and Chosid, how deep and eternal and strong is that kesher between Rebbe and Chosid. That's what the whole issue was about. It wasn't about, does it belong to me, does it belong to you? It was about what is Rebbe and Chosid and what is Rebbe. That's really what it was all about. So for a person to come along and try to understand it just on a very simplistic, physical level, you're really missing the whole point. Completely missing the whole point. Chassidus says regarding the mitzvah of Avos Yisroel,